Okay, how's it going? So today we're gonna look at the most glazed characters of all time, part four. So I have watched the previous three parts on my own. However, since I'm starting YouTube now, might as well watch part four, which came out recently, I think a few days ago. So yeah, there's a lot of glazed characters. I think the most glazed character that I know is definitely Zoro. Look, I love Zoro. He's also one of my favorite characters. He's probably like top five in terms of One Piece. But holy shit, bro! Like his stands, the hardcore Zoro stands. Oh my god, they're so toxic. I used to be involved in the JD Legend will call it agenda piece, right? So I used to be involved with that, but I kind of disassociate myself with it now. It's just not fun anymore. It used to be really fun. Now I feel like people are just saying a lot of nonsense just to rage bait. So that's why I decided not to get involved anymore. But overall, I do think Zoro needs to be here. Well, no, I think Zoro was here in like part two or one. It was one of the first two parts from what I remember. So yeah, we could just get straight into it. I'm seeing Luffy is here. He is glazed. In case you guys didn't know, Luffy is my favorite character in general in fiction. He's awesome. I love him. Amazing character. So obviously I'm biased, but is he glazed? Is he really glazed? I think he is, but is it deserved glazed? Because the thing is with Zoro, I don't think it's justified because I feel like a lot of Zoro's things, they think that he's like top three in the verse. Like it's ridiculous. But with Luffy, I feel like it's justifiable because of Gear Fifth, right? But I will say I do think he is a little glazed, like with the whole Toon Force stuff. It is taken overboard because we still don't know the extent of his abilities, so it's hard to say where he's at. But yeah, let's enough yapping. Let's just get started.
So it's been a shockingly long time since the last time I made a video hating on characters who get way too much glaze. And like always, I miss some characters who are clearly
It's been
culprits to the
3 years.
glazing
Wait,
crisis
it's been a
going on in
year.
our society today. And if someone gotta
Holy
hate on
shit.
fictional characters, I'm up to the task. Therefore, in today's video, we will be going over more of the most glazed characters of all time. The very first character we're talking about today is the Ghost of the Uchiha, more
Hold on, guys. I made a mistake. So that thumbnail that we saw in the beginning, that was from part three. Part four. Okay, I get it now. These are the part. Okay, so we got Aaron, we got Madara, and Gogeta. I agree. The thing is with Madara, it's deserved. I feel like Madara Glaze is deserved. I mean, there's no way you're telling me that Madara doesn't deserve to be glazed. In fact, he got disrespected in the end of Naruto. So I feel like his is justified. Aaron, I definitely see it because I've seen people side with Aaron like heavily, which is crazy. I don't understand why people think Aaron is in the right. So I do think he is glazed, especially with season four onwards. And Gogeta, oh my god, bro. Gogeta is glazed to hell. He 100% is. He looks cool and all. I prefer Vegito. I do think he's the better fusion. But holy shit, like I do think Gogeta is glazed. But let's see what he has to say because I'm curious to see. I'm curious to hear his thoughts. Why these
the
characters are
most glazed
glazed.
characters of all time. The very first character we're talking about today is the Ghost of the Uchiha, more commonly known as Madara Uchiha. And honestly, I'm surprised
Okay.
this guy has escaped my sights for so long. If there's one way to describe Madara, it'd be the fact that he has a lot of aura. Even before we knew anything about Madara for real, his name alone was significant. Obito introduced himself as Madara because he knew it would strike fear into people who encountered him. Kurama was even a bit shocked when he thought back to Madara. And once we start getting into Madara's fights, he gets catapulted into an entirely different stratosphere. His first fight was him fighting an entire army of shinobi and winning. Then he proceeded to drop
bro, this was so peak. Oh my god, him destroying the Ninja Alliance like that was nuts. Granted, most of them were fodder, but it was just nice to see. Damn, bro, I miss Naruto when it was just about ninjas. This whole like god stuff with the Otsukis, like I don't know. I just felt like that was a vibe kill, especially with Kaguya. Man, that was such a fumble.
Not one, but two meteors on their heads. There are about a dozen other fights I can mention, but by this point, we all know what he's about. He's one of the few members of the Uchiha clan that can actually back up a lot of the hype his fans give him. Well, at least most of the hype. We tend not to talk about how this guy, when he was alive, was a Hashirama victim. Granted, Hashirama didn't dog him, but let's just take a step back and look at the whole picture. Madara had the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan with all its abilities and the Nine-Tailed Fox armored with the Susanoo on his side and still lost. Hashirama just has some wood. I don't know why it was so strong, but hey, it's a series about ninjas. Let's not think about it too much. The only way Madara was able to defeat Hashirama was when he took his cells. Kind of a crazy look if you ask me. And while we're on the topic, we might as well talk about how strong this guy was, which is one of the many reasons why people glaze Madara. He went from one of the strongest ninjas ever at the beginning of the war to comically overpowered at the end of it. This guy was getting A1 power-ups every 2 seconds. He got the Rinnegan, Hashirama cells, which are sold like hotcakes in the Naruto world for some reason, the 10 tails, and absorbed the God Tree. When talking about Shippuden, Madara fans will never fail to bring up how the plot is the only thing that stopped Madara. It's always the same stuff.
Oh man, I see. Okay, so that's why he says he gets glazed to hell. Okay, I guess that's fair, but it is technically accurate, right? Like, he only got defeated because the Arthur didn't know how to deal with him, so he did it in the most lamest way possible with Zetsu, killing him off or betraying him. So that was pretty ass, in my opinion.
To get jumped by everyone. Only Might Guy could 1v1 him. They just got lucky.
People will even go as far as to say Kishimoto said that he made Madara too strong for the story and brought in Kaguya to stop him, which is a straight up lie. Not a soul can find an interview of him saying something like this. The only time an author would say something like this is to hype up the next chapter of the story. Let's just talk about it like it is. He lost. He got caught from behind by Black.
Really? Wait, is that true? I always thought that I'm not gonna lie, I was one of those people that thought that Kishimoto mentioned that he didn't know how to deal with Madara. So that's not true. That's just, was that like a mistranslation or what? Or did it never, like, was that never a discussion? Interesting. I personally thought that that's the reason why he just killed him off like that.
Zetsu, just like against Hashirama. There was a theme with Madara's character with him not liking people standing behind him, and it came full circle. Also, why do people just pretend like Sasuke and Naruto weren't dogging Madara when they came back from Hagoromo? This always confused me because I felt like these two had Madara on the ropes for a lot of that fight. Madara was getting shaky when he realized how strong these two were and was running away like a track star. Even if Madara didn't get betrayed, why is it just a given that Madara would beat everyone? Naruto and Sasuke looked more than capable of doing so, especially considering the fact that they almost sealed him. They probably would have packed him up eventually if Madara stayed.
I agree with that, but at the same time, I wouldn't say they were gonna beat him easily, right? Because at that time, when both Naruto and Sasuke got the Sage of Six Paths, right? Madara only had one Rinnegan, right? And then eventually he got the other Rinnegan, and he was actually dog walking them for a bit until he got betrayed. So I don't know if that's accurate, but to be fair, I haven't watched Naruto in a while, so maybe I'm misremembering things.
To fight. Oh, my bad. This is the part where someone tells me Madara and his Limbo clones were just letting themselves get boxed up or straight up sealed by Naruto and Sasuke. A good portion of Madara glazers are simply blinded by nostalgia, delusion, or this guy's aura, and would love to pretend as if the series ended with Madara winning and not being betrayed. If you speak with one of them long enough, you will find that they theorize that the entire Boruto series was Naruto's dream and Madara's infinite Tsukuyomi the entire time. And this plot twist would actually be on the same level as those theoretical Gear 5 designs. Garbage. Anyways, let's move on to our next character, Eren Yeager. And might I say, it's been a pretty long time since I've addressed this guy and his actions. Eren has always been a relevant character considering he's the protagonist to one of the most popular anime ever. However, I feel like he gained a lot of his motion during the 4th season of Attack on Titan. The scene of him saying, I'll 100%. Keep moving forward until my enemies are destroyed, set the internet on fire. This felt like the genesis for Eren's explosion in popularity. I saw everyone talking about how cold Eren was, how he had the best mentality, and like clockwork, he gained a massive amount of glaze.
Yeah, the glaze was crazy, and prior to season 4, I remember people really loved Levi. I personally barely see people talking about Levi. Now is people glazing Aaron. So it's very funny how that shifted because of how different Aaron, was moving in season 4 and onwards.
Then he had other notable moments, like when he told his dad to get up and take the founding title. Easily one of the most absurd reveals in the series. At this point, in the eyes of an Aaron fan, Aaron could do no wrong. He could beat up his friends or kill innocent people, and his fans would cheer for it. Any move he made and every body he gained was justified because he wanted freedom, which we'll get back to this idea in a second. It's really funny how the Jaegerist ideology was reflected in the real world through Aaron fans. I don't know how, but Aaron and the Jaegerists were convincing enough to fool a bunch of people into believing what they were doing was fine. To throw some bail, I do understand that initially the Jaegerists weren't that radical, but at a certain point they were bugging out. People will tell me that he just wanted freedom for him and his friends. Aaron's idea of freedom was straight up genocide, and his fans said, good job. Ask an Aaron fan if what Aaron did was wrong, and they'll say that he was justified without hesitation. There was a reason why Aaron was framed as the bad guy in the last arc. His plan was evil. It is nearly impossible to justify murking 80% of the population. If that happened in our world, that is 6.4 billion people gone. Mad people talking about how they stand with Aaron when you would probably be a part of that 6.4 billion people getting stomped out. Aaron Glaze is so out of control that even when the series has...
That is so true, because if you were there, you would be like, what the hell what does this dude, what is wrong with this dude? Why he's doing all this? If this were to happen. So yeah, it's kind of interesting how people were like, oh yeah, he's justified to do a mass genocide in order to save his friend. No, it's not. No. Just no. Like, he's committing genocide for the sake of freedom. That's not really freedom. It's just
Aaron himself tell you that his plan was stupid, people will still say that his plan was good. These Aaron Glazers are also abnormally loyal. There was a time on TikTok where there existed a cult of Aaron profile pictures causing wars in the comment section. That was their only role on the...
I also remember during COVID, I remember people were doing because people couldn't get mainly men, they couldn't get haircuts, right? They let their hair grow, and they wanted to look like Aaron so bad, so they did the man bun. Like, I remember that being a thing. That was a trend. That was crazy. Like, I will admit some of them look cool, but like the majority of them, they were just trying too hard. Like, I do remember that time, and this happened during COVID. Like, that was crazy.
Internet, and apparently these guys were running amok for like half a year at one point. I could also talk about how Aaron fans think that this guy is some 24/7 nonchalant demon, when in reality he was someone who was scared to die and crying at the thought of his crush finding a different man. But I feel like at this point that's low-hanging fruit, so I'm not even gonna address it really. The next character we're talking about is LeBron James, and I know someone's face probably scrunched up and said, LeBron's not a character, why is he here? First off, the channel is called Olama-sama, okay? I'm making up the rules as I go. Secondly, LeBron was technically a character in Space Jam, so if you really think about it, I'm not breaking any patterns I've set in the past. As I hope we all know, LeBron James is arguably the best basketball player of all time and one of the greatest athletes the world has seen, and he's been dominant for what feels like a century now. Such a combination gives LeBron one of the largest armies of Glazers we've ever witnessed, and to be fair, it makes sense why he has so many. The man's been dominant for more than 2 decades by this point on one of the most popular sports in the world. LeBron came into the league before I was born, and
by the way, guys, I'm not a huge basketball dude. So I probably won't say much about this, but I will say I do see a lot of people glazing LeBron. Whether or not it's justified, I personally don't know. I don't have a say in that, but I did see a few like highlights, and he does seem really good. He's really exceptional and a great athlete. I mean, yeah, that's
is still cooking people as I'm in college. There's definitely someone who had a coma for like half a decade and woke up and saw that LeBron is still playing. He even created his own teammate and started passing on Bron for all for his son. But that's all the grace I could give. LeBron fans have worshipped this man to a point where the meaning of glaze has been warped. I can't even explain how crazy some of these statements are in words. It's better if you just see it for yourself.
If he was a sea captain and he was in control of the Titanic, it would have never hit the iceberg.
I want to say that around 2016 to 2019, the LeBron fan population experienced a boom, and it started becoming widely...
Cash Nasty, bro, I swear to God, Cash Nasty is the biggest LeBron glazer, bro. This dude, bro, I'm gonna be honest, bro. You know what? Maybe I shouldn't say that. I'm gonna keep it to myself. But yeah, that's crazy. He would save the Titanic All right, that's
accepted
wild.
to glaze
Come
LeBron
on
incessantly. People were making their whole brands based off glazing this man. Nowadays, we experience different phases of LeBron praise. There was the "You Are My Sunshine" meme, and that was funny and harmless, you know, it didn't
I
really hurt
remember that.
anybody. But then they started making whole songs based on LeBron worship. The worst part is, a lot of these songs were good. People were finding out they have musical
What?
talent and use it just to glaze LeBron.
There are many kinds of people in the world, and just as many dogs. At AKC, we know and love them.
Even when LeBron is arguably hurting his team, we don't care. LeBron fans don't care. They will still sit there and argue with you just to get a chance to sing this man's praises. It's gotta be some implant that's put into their brains at a certain point, as people who don't even watch basketball will probably glaze LeBron. You, watching this video, have a friend who is a LeBron glazer, or you yourself are the LeBron glazer. I have genuine concerns for anyone under 30 once LeBron retires. People might actually start turning society upside down because they can't watch LeBron play basketball anymore. I'm not making this up, by the way. While making this video, my friend just texted me saying that they might cry when LeBron retires. It's ridiculous. And at a certain point, I don't even know if I can call it glaze anymore. LeBron is the GOAT after all. We have to start asking ourselves, is it glazing if it's true? They're just acknowledging greatness. My bad, I got a bit out of control. I promise y'all I'm not a Bron fan, and I don't have 2 of his jerseys in my wardrobe closet. Anyhow, before I move on to a certain speedster, if you're enjoying the video so far and you're new, you might as well subscribe. With that being said, we can talk about the Monarch of Motion, the Flash. On a side note, Monarch of Motion has to be one of the best nicknames for a superhero. Goodness. For this video, I want to specifically talk about Wally West. After Barry Allen's death in the comics, Wally West took over the mantle of the Flash and became the character synonymous with the Flash for a long time. I'm talking from the 80s to the 2000s. Wally West was almost always the main Flash. For example, if you've seen the Justice League cartoon when you were younger, Wally West was that Flash. It really is a toss-up between Barry and Wally on who is the greatest Flash. Some may enjoy Barry's storylines more, while others prefer Wally's connection to his villains and friends. Even with more recent media using Barry Allen for the Flash persona, Wally has still been able to get some decent character representation in recent times. But we all know that there's a reason why Wally is in this video. He's not in the video because the average fan just be gobbling up his meat every 5 seconds. No, it is because there exists a vocal portion of his fans that love to talk about how powerful this guy is. Although they still exist today, back in like 2021 to 2022, this guy and all his fans were everywhere. Every 1v1 edit you can imagine had Wally West in it just being glazed to no end. People would pin this guy against any fictional character and he'd win with negative difficulty. If you didn't know it already, them edits let you know that Wally West was beating your favorite character. 2022 Wally West was the first time I saw a character getting like 8 free points and still getting beat. This guy even got his...
I'm not gonna lie, I've never seen this. Like, what? Really? People glazed Wally West that much? Huh. I guess I wasn't paying attention to that.
own theme song, and you know which one I'm talking about too. The worst part is that these fans don't even know any Wally West storylines. They barely even know his character. The only stories they know just happen to be the ones where all of Wally's fastest feats are in, so they can glaze him about it online. They know about the time when Wally ran to the end of time to outsmart death, and will tell you about how this makes Wally so fast. Do they know why this even happened? Heck no. They only need evidence to tell people that Wally is really, really fast. These guys will tell you about when Wally evacuated an entire city, or when he outran instant teleportation. However, for some reason, they can't name any other moments about Wally West. I wonder why. They'll never talk about other iterations of Wally West, like the one from Young Justice or the one who got his kneecaps busted by Robin. There's no talk about some of his moments in Justice League Unlimited when he's not doing some insane feat. It's only like the same 8 moments these Wally Glazers talk about to push their agenda. The worst part is that you can't really argue with these guys. Wally West has done some of the most absurd things in fiction. This guy's gotten godlike powers on multiple occasions. What am I supposed to say when someone says that Wally Soul is my favorite anime? The only thing I can do is sit there and take it. I will say one thing though. Although these Wally West Glazers can get out of control, they are not as bad as those fans who bring up obscure characters just so they can seem unique or say that their character beats insert character they don't like. The Flash is a recognizable character, so it's believable if someone said that they were a fan of Wally without any other agendas behind it. Overall, Wally West is a video Gogeta. There are 3 main versions of Gogeta that we all know and love. There's Super Gogeta, Blue Gogeta, and the Kabavic Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. And I want to have some fun. We all like fun, right? So let's play.
Especially Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. This dude gets glazed to hell in like every single Dragon Ball game, bro. I swear to God. Just recently, bro, in Dokkan. If you guys don't play Dokkan, they just released a Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. And bro, his animations are like, they're like insane. Like it doesn't make any sense. It looks like it was made from like actual studio, like anime studios. Like it was nuts. You guys should take a look at that. But yeah, he's glazed to hell. Especially Super Saiyan 4
A
Gogeta.
little game I made. Can you guys pick which Gogeta gets the most glaze for no reason? One of these things is not like the others.
Super Saiyan 4.
One of these
It
things
has to
gets
be.
glazed beyond. Can you tell which thing is not like the others by the time I finish this song? It's the Monkey Man himself.
Yep, there you
and let's
go.
set one
There
thing
you go.
straight. I'd be lying if I said I didn't like Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Up until Super,
Yeah, he looks
this guy was
cool.
the strongest in all of Dragon Ball for me during childhood. Well, kind of the strongest thing. You get the point. But honestly, it's weird
he's
because
not
it's not like
canon,
Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is super duper loved by the fans like other characters we've seen. Shoot, I remember when that Tabo versus Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta meme was going around, there were people slandering this man saying that he's just Vegito Blue with monkey fur, which is true, but it's nasty work. And it's also kind of a stupid comparison considering a majority of the fusions between Goku and Vegeta are kind of just the same character. You know what? That's just a topic for another video.
Shit, yeah.
Anyways, since he already gets slandered, why not put some more fuel to the fire? This Monkey Man really ain't doing anything in the anime besides looking cool. He was beating the brakes off of Omega and having a blast knowing dang well he had a time limit. And what a shocker, Gogeta defused and Omega started whooping Goku and Vegeta's behinds again. But you want to know the craziest thing about this guy is? It's the fact that his grand finishing move, the Big Bang Kamehameha, is trash. And I know that sometimes us Dragon Ball fans can have some Cloud Strife memory due to nostalgia. So let me show you what the grand Big Bang Kamehameha looks like in the anime.
One thing left undone.
Yeah, it was bad.
Big Bang Kamehameha!
Now,
But
I
this
think we
gets
can all
this attack gets glazed to fuck, bro. In every single game, I'm telling you, bro. Watch, he's probably gonna talk
objectively
about it right
say
here.
this looks like, as the kids say, straight cheeks. Like this guy Omega stay overreacting. Nothing is even hitting you. He's acting like he's getting hit by a strong attack or something. Now I'm sure you may be wondering things like the Big Bang Kamehameha in the games don't look like that, and
This is what the hell I'm talking about. And Dokkan, bro, they glazed the living. I'm so pissed because they did Vegito so dirty during that celebration, bro. The global celebration. Nah, man, that's not cool, bro. They gave this dude a whole unit, Gogeta, a whole unit, and Vegito is just a fucking active. Are you kidding me, bro? Yes, I'm mad. Yes, I'm mad.
that's precisely the source of the glaze. The truth that we all know about Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is that he is a video game merchant. His anime counterpart ain't really have
100%.
super flashy
There you
moves.
go.
As we've seen, the animations for his big moves were mid at best in the anime. It's the video games that really be meat munching Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Freaking
100%.
Dragon Ball Fighter Z got Gogeta doing all of these dope moves that he never did in the anime. The devs of every Dragon Ball game love this guy for some reason. I gotta see games make whole new animations from scratch just to make him a new character. As a Vegito fan, I am tired of you, Omatsu. If you know, you know.
Facts. You see, even he knows. Omatsu. By the way, he's the producer of Dokkan. Omatsu. He hates Vegeta, bro. I'm telling you,
Devs
bro.
will gladly let this guy steal and poach other characters' moves and smile gladly
Look at
as the
this
money
shit,
rakes
bro.
in. Soon this guy's gonna be stealing other Gogeta's moves like the Stardust Breaker
Facts.
and be an amalgamation of all the fusions. They were even
All the
stealing
Vegetos.
moves from
I guarantee in the future, bro, when another Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta comes out in like 2 years, in Dokkan or any other game, they're gonna make him do a double Spirit Sword. I guarantee you, bro. How much y'all want to bet? They're gonna make him do a double Spirit Sword. They're gonna steal Vegito's moves. He's gonna do a final Kamehameha. They're gonna do everything.
other anime to make this guy's animations. These developers at Bandai have successfully gaslit a generation of kids into thinking the Big Bang Kamehameha was actually a cool looking move. It wasn't. Without the video games, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta's aura takes a hit and you cannot convince me otherwise. And this doesn't really happen to the other fusions much. Super Gogeta and Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta are in the same position of not having many animations to work on, but you never see the same level of glaze for Super Gogeta. I already know that there are other characters that need to be covered and will be covered in an inevitable future installment of this series. Two characters I know will be in that next video are Future Gohan and that fraud known as the King of Pirates. I might also have to include Mr. Drums of Oppression in that list as well. And I did see a lot of people talking about Archie Sonic in the last video, and to be honest, I'm low-key an Archie.
Is Roger glazed? I mean, I will say recently, like in the recent manga chapters, maybe I shouldn't spoil it in case people watch the anime. But yeah, I guess Roger does get glazed. And what was the other one? I think it was Future Gohan. Yeah, I think he gets glazed. Yeah. Gohan in general, really, even in games, especially Dokkan and Legends, Dragon Ball Legends, he gets glazed to hell. 100% Gohan.
Sonic Glazer myself. The day I put Sonic or Sanji in one of these videos is the day I get kidnapped and held hostage. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and special thanks to those who made it this far into the video.
I don't
With
know
that being
Sanji's
said,
glazed
have a
like
great
that.
day, and
Maybe
peace
he
out.
is. By his fans, at least. Alright. W video. Can't speak. Jesus. Hope you guys enjoy, and see you guys next time. Take care.